Hey guys, well, this is my truck, and what happened was somebody missed the corner over there. They were drunk driving, of course, and I'll just walk over here and show you a little better. They missed that corner, and they just came by here and slid right into my truck, and they hit the box, the quarter fender, and the axle got bent. Now this is how it is after I got the truck back. I got an $8,000 later, but this is my truck. That's the axle, and if you can see it real good there, but it's an old axle. It's not even the right one for the truck. And if you see over there at the other side, at the bottom of the tire, it's leaking fluid out of both calipers. It was actually a crap job, to be honest. I took it to a dealership because they were able to weld the box on that I needed, and that they had the well, they were international dealer, so it's an international truck, so it just seemed fitting. One place does it all. Well, they didn't do it all. They put the quarter fender on. You know, that's about the best thing. But they could take a little bit more care. It's all scratched up and everything else. I mean, I know this goes on a truck, but come on, guys. It's a new fender. At least take care of it. I got the axle on. Here's my box. It's the same box that I had before. This is the one that got hit. And they were supposed to put the new box on, but they ran out of money. Go figure. I kept getting phone calls. They needed more money for this, more money for that. Finally, I had to stop. You know, $8,000 later, this is what I get, you know. And this is not $8,000, people. I don't care what anybody says. I know trucks. I've been driving them for years. You know, I've been around longer than most people have been in their businesses. But to make a long story short, this is the box I got back. My same old box. I paid them off the estimate to purchase a new box, put it on the truck, new quarter fender, and an axle, but they fought me on the axle. It ended up being a used one. I didn't want to use one, ended up with trouble. And this is how it all came around. Well, before it even got put on the truck, you know, I knew it was going to be, and they argued with me. But this is the finished product here. The axle is really junk. I don't even know what year it is. My truck has 60,000 miles on it, and here is the axle they put on there. You can see on the other side over there, they had to cut it to make it fit. You know, had it been the right axle, they wouldn't have to cut anything. But they cut it. And, oh yeah, it was supposed to have simulators. The wheel simulators never got replaced. That was something else that was on the estimate. It's a real poor job. It's, you know, it's a local dealer here. And I expected, you know, a lot more than that. This big old space right here will come into play later in another upcoming video. This space is not supposed to be empty, but let's see if I can get a video shot of it down here. Underneath this thing, there it is, look at that. There's an exhaust that's open and missing, and what the heck, people? The exhaust is gone. They stole my exhaust. And the guy at the place told me, well, I talked to the guy, the tech that did the work on your axle and determined that it was bent. He said there was no exhaust when that truck came in. Well, that's going to come into play a little bit later also. They don't know me very well, but this is my first shot at streaming. It probably won't be my last. This little piece here is a little rubber snubber thingy that keeps the hood from banging down against metal there. That's going to come into play right now. Not just the exhaust. Let me walk through this forest here. I had to shove gloves on this. This is missing. I snagged this thing at the dealership. You can see the fresh marks on there. This truck is filthy. It's got all my little spider pets everywhere. It's dirty. So all these little clean spots, you know, something was missing or messed with. That's just one of the things. That's a little rubber snuffer dealie. They went through more stuff on here, and I don't know. Who knows what people do anymore. But that was my local dealer. So when I noticed this stuff done, I noticed this. This is a little light that comes on when you open your door. Oops, my hand's shaking there. And what it is 2 wires are cut, fresh cut wires. Nice fresh cut wires. I told him that's freshly cut. I don't have the cutter with me. I showed it to him, and he said, "Oh, somebody didn't want light." And I told him, no, somebody did want light, because they took the bulb and the pigtail out. Nice, neat, clean little job, you know. Somebody's going to jump a fence and do this. They're just going to rip these out. They don't care about that. This is done by a mechanic. My license plate here. Not quite sure why they scraped the tag on it. That was kind of stupid. But see, you can see the pieces on there where they scraped it. And the tag's expired. This truck has a non-op on it. So I guess they needed the license plate bolts. At least they threw my license plate back in the truck. How'd they get in the truck? Well, they had a key, of course. On the ground, I had mats in here. And those are all gone now. They're a thing of the past. But when I talked to the manager about this light, okay, I went up and checked my top console, because the first thing I thought was they'd steal my stereo too. And no, stereo's still there. It's got a 7-inch TV in that sucker. 7-inch screen. Why didn't they mess with that? Well, I guess they were going to. They just didn't get to it yet. What happened was, when all this happened, when I noticed this, I told him, and I says, hey, you know, first thing I did was look up in the top. I looked in that console right there. That's where the remote was for my radio. And I was just thankful that the remote was still there. Well, to make a long story short, I was towing this thing home that day. And I talked to the manager, and I told him this is gone. He told me all those little excuses. His guys wouldn't do that, and all this other shit. Made excuses for everybody. Well, as I'm sitting there waiting for the tow truck to tow this truck back, and notice the cover is gone also. There was a plastic cover covering all this crap. They took that as well. Well, anyways, I was talking to one of the Ideal Lease guys, and it was really hot. I started passing out. I started getting heat stroke out there. So I said, hey man, I got to cut this short. I'm going to go jump in my truck, and I got to wait for the guy to get here. So I sat in my truck, cranked up the AC, make a long story short. I was passing out bad. It was bad. So I cranked up the AC, and what do I see? One of the international employees, international dealer, you know, one of their employees walks right into my truck. He reaches up into my console and takes the remote right in front of me. He knew it was there. He knew right where to go. He took the remote right in front of me. I'm trying to get a picture of him, but I'm seeing black and white like an animal. I mean, I was really passing out. It was horrible. It was bad. So I overheated, and I couldn't see the screen on my phone to take a picture of the clown. And so basically he got away, but he took the remote and some other stuff. I didn't see what else he took, but he took the remote and some other things. And it was horrible, man. So now, you know, I was thinking that somebody was jumping the fence taking my stuff off this truck, and it turns out that it wasn't. It was their employees taking it. And if you think about it, the employees, the parts that are gone and missing, like mats, the light, this little piece over here. These are pieces that nobody's going to jump a fence to steal this shit. This is stuff a mechanic would take. And, you know, it's all common sense. It's not something they could sell for drug money. Nobody's going to take stuff that's not worth much. But this stuff's a pain in the ass to replace. That's what I'm pissed off about. So not only did they have my truck and screw it up, their own mechanics used it for parts. And I'm pretty pissed off. But there is a part to play. There's going to be more videos of this truck, and we'll see how that all turns out. But needless to say, when I confronted that guy about his mechanic being in there, first thing he told me, oh, nobody here is dressed like that. I told the guy, I said, I'm seeing black and white. I was hot. I almost got a picture of him, but I saw him. I was right there. And the guy argued with me, and you know, before I thought it was somebody jumping the fence, like he said, but that was a smoke screen. The camera at the facility didn't show my truck. Where my truck was parked was just outside camera range. Isn't that convenient? So what I thought was an isolated issue, turns out that many people have had the same issue in there. When I had this thing towed back and I made my phone calls for tow trucks, you know, I priced them out. I'm a cheap bastard. What the hell, you know? But people that I talked to said, "Oh yeah, we're knowing about all those problems there," you know. And it's like, 'cause they're asking why you need it towed, and I had to tell them they put an axle on my truck and they screwed it up. So, you know, I didn't want to say anything I didn't have to say, but when you're having a vehicle towed this size, you have to tell them why you want the Landau, why you want the low bed, why you want all the wheels off the ground when it goes down the road. Because you can't trust these wheels spinning on the street. You know, the way they put this axle together, it is possible, if you drop the driveline even, it is possible that this thing could lock up because it's got bad calipers with bad shoes pressed against brand new rotors. You know what? There's another question right there. Who does that? I mean, a new, freshly turned rotor, and you're going to shove an old pad with no pads on it, an old worn-out brake steel pad against it with a bad caliper? I mean, why even turn the rotor? Anyways, I'm rambling on, guys, but this is my truck, and there's going to be more videos of it coming up. But this corner right here, this is all what caused it. Some drunk guy was coming down this road one morning and came too fast, came around the corner, and he hit the box, the axle, and the quarter fender. Costing me $8,000, and that's what I got. I have an old box, an old axle, it's not even the right axle, and I got a quarter fender. The only thing they almost got right was the quarter fender, but they put it on and scratched it all up and everything, and it's like, you know, I almost want to say, is that a used thing too? But, you know, I don't know. Anyways, there's going to be more videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks you for watching.